Today, Anne and I got together to talk a little bit about her research on the work of Byron Katie. As you might have seen, we did a little video on Anne's beautiful explanation of why the work works from a more psychological perspective. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what led you to this explanation. And we'll be making several little videos talking about the different research that you've done, which, by the way, I find it really fascinating. I'm very curious to hear more. So you told me, we just started talking a little bit before we started recording this call, and you told me a bit about that this was done at the school of 2015. So could you tell a little bit more about that? And maybe before you do that, just tell us like what you do, where do you do your research?
Right now I work at the University of Bern in Switzerland, but before that my research on the work I did in Germany in 2014, I did my first school and I was really fascinated, and I was thinking about doing research about the work, like is it effective, why does it work? It was always, my mind was always interested in why does it work, how does it work? So in 2015 I asked Katie if I was allowed to do study at the school, and she said yes. So I went there and I asked participants, German-speaking participants, if they would be willing to fill in some questionnaires. So before they started the school, they fill in some questionnaires, they answer questions regarding their stress level, chronic stress level, and also regarding their anxiety levels. And then we did the same measures again at the end of the school, and again 3 months after the school was done.
Could you say, from what I understand, this work was based on self-evaluation, and could you just say a little bit about what you asked them to evaluate?
They were asked regarding their stress level. How much stress did you experience regarding your job, your social relationships, your partnership, and stuff like that? And also we measured trait anxiety. It's like your personality. How anxious are you as a person? Not in a specific situation, but like more overall, how anxious are you?
And they would then grade themselves.
Right. So you have like a scale where you can answer, yeah, I agree, I don't agree, somewhere in the middle. You can rate yourself, your experience.
What have you found?
One more thing, what you need usually is a control group. So we have these people who are in the school and you measure their anxiety and their stress, and you want to know if the work has an effect on that, right? So in order to find that out, you need to have a control group which you can compare the results to.
So how big was your test group and how big was your control group?
In the test group, we had 53 people at the beginning, and then some data dropouts of 42 people filled in the questionnaires at 3 months after the school. And in the control group, we had 146 at the beginning, but we did a matching. Like we found twins, data twins, so same age, same gender, same stress level in the beginning, stuff like that. And we had 37 of them. And then we analyzed the data, comparing those groups with another.
Yeah. So I am very excited to hear what you found. I'm sure the viewers are very curious as well. Can we go there?
Yeah. First, we looked at the beginning, before the school, did participants of the control group and the intervention group have different levels of stress, and they did not, also not on their anxiety level. So they had the same baseline levels. And what you can see is that the control group had the same levels after the school. So, and also 3 months later. So they had the same stress level, the same anxiety level. So what that tells us is that there was no change in their stress level, which should be this way because they didn't have any intervention. But for the people who went to the school, they had a significant decrease in their chronic stress and their anxiety. And this is really interesting because this effect was also there 3 months after the school. So it was not just a short-time school effect, it was a long-term effect.
Was there any difference that you found between the measurement right after the school and 3 months later? Or any significant?
Yeah, it was on the anxiety level. For the stress level, it was not possible because it measures several weeks back, like for the last few weeks, and school is only 9 days long, so we couldn't use that. But we found also a reduction, significant reduction for anxiety already after the school, which was stable 3 months after the school.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm trying to understand,
Mm.
are we measuring the effect of the school, or are you measuring the effect of the work? And to what extent can you deduce anything from this research that is really related to the school, and what is an effect of doing inquiry? And do you have that data?
So in the study I did after, we did a computer-based intervention. So people got the work on a computer without a code, without other people interactions, to figure out if that works as well. So for this present study we're talking about, it's a school effect. And we don't actually know how much effect is of the work intervention, how much effect is the Katie effect, and how much is the social effect.
However, our next exciting installment of these conversations will reveal what you found in other studies where you will have been more keyed towards measuring the exact effect of just inquiry. And one of them would be where you actually had a computer-based system. Well, that's something to look forward to. Anything else you want to share with our viewers before we round off for today?
No, I'm going to upload a link to the paper. So if you want to download it, it's free, it's open access, you can download it. And if you have any questions, please leave us a comment.
And in the YouTube video, under the YouTube video, you will find the link that will lead you to the research so that you can read if you're interested. And please, anybody watching this, Anne and I love talking to people, as you can see, so you're most invited to connect with us. And thank you, Anne.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking.
Until the next exciting installment.